robbery. Hands in the sky if you got a dream. Learn nothing was blocking me. I was the problem, the only one stopping me. I didn't like it, I had to refocus. Now I'm devoted, I know where I'm going. Controlling emotions, I'm owning the moment. In order to get it, see, you gotta want it. If I was home, make a living break. Confessions over these 808s. Don't sleep on the key, better stay away. I mean, for heaven's sake, I'ma be the best. Came from the endless, I ain't walk games, bitch with the chest. Beating on my chest, trying to get my rest. Watch me while I flex. Every win is a blessing, and every L is a lesson. So when I run into rejection, I know it's only redirection. I see the blessings right beside me. The chances of quitting are likely. I do it like I'm in my Nikes. Don't make excuses, they never excite me. Quitting was never an option.
OSRL heads to the land of the rising sun tonight for round number 5 of the Premier Series season, which brings us to the renowned Twin Ring Motegi circuit. This 1.5-mile egg-shaped oval is no stranger to hosting American-based racing series, with both NASCAR and IndyCar making trips across the Pacific in 1998. And tonight, the Online Speedway Racing League Premier Series will have their turn for 100 laps here in Japan. Good evening, everyone. I'm Hunter Brittle, alongside my good friend Ross Brockman, ready to bring you all the action of the Tochigi 250 live on split-second broadcasting. Ross, what can we expect from this exotic track tonight?
Well, it's a very unique track, flat oval, very wide. I think it's crazy how wide these turns and even the straightaways are the widest I've ever seen. I think it'll be really fun to see them navigate this track and see, is it a typical NASCAR style race, or are we going to see a little craziness with it being a unique oval? So here we go.
Green flag is out. Nate Stewart won the pole. He leads the field to green here with Jack Painter to his outside, getting a good push from Kendall Carpenter down this long straightaway here. Ross, you were just talking about how big this track is. Very long straightaway. Now they dive off into turn number 1. Nate Stewart commands the lead, but they're 3 wide there for second.
Yeah, great battle so far right away. That 67 Nate Stewart getting away, but then they're going to keep it close here. Try to, at least for second, battle 3 wide. It just seems like you go into the corner and you wish there was more banking. A lot of these drivers sliding up second and third. Like, oh, we got a spin in the back, it looks like.
Big wreck in the back. 4 cars involved. They're still wrecking, piling in the back. I didn't get to see who was all in it because we were looking up at the front there, but I see the 16 of Luke Breitschoff. No, sorry, that's the 18th. The 18 of John Szulczewski is involved. The 4 of Harrington is collected up in it. Let's see if we can get you a replay here to go back and see what happened on this opening lap wreck here in Motegi.
Like I said, there's just not a lot of grip at a track that has flat corners like this. It just seems like they're all kind of. You enter the corner down low. We got one down on the apron. Came up and got together.
The 06 of Bennett just bombed it off into turn number 3 and did not have the grip to hold it down there. Slid right up into the 12 of Emery Spence. And around Emery went and collected multiple other cars, including the 18 of Szulczewski. So already under caution here. Lap number 1 of 100 at Twin Ring Motegi.
Yeah, and I think that, you see going into 3 there, like I think there is potential at some of these flatter tracks to be able to use the apron to kind of get the car to turn, but going down there that early and that, maybe got a little help, looks like, yeah. Got a little help going in there, and that sends the 06 in there a little too fast than probably they wanted to, but
not a whole lot of takers on pit road, just some guys repairing damage. Obviously, being a lap number 1 caution, we didn't expect much to transpire. But Ross, we had a little bit of a short intro to this race. So to set us up, welcome back OSRL Premier Series competition to Split Second Broadcasting. Last time we hosted this series, we were in Daytona, where Josh Chin took the victory. And since then, he has been on a tear. 3 wins out of the 4 races that they've had. And with a more than 50-point advantage in the points over top of second place Braden Movick, who has been matching Chin in top 5s. And he's the only one who's been able to even remotely hang with him in terms of stats. But Josh Chin's got a commanding point lead, 55 points over Movick, back to second there. And Jacob A. Wilkerson being the only other driver this season with a win, that coming at New Hampshire to dethrone Josh, who quickly took it back last weekend, is looking for more this week as he's already running second here in the early going at Motegi.
4 out of 5 if he can pull off the win tonight. So we'll have to see if that's possible. And yeah, I think this series, a lot of the similar names we see a lot here in the OSRL series contending right now. But as far as the winning moves has been Joshua Chin so far. So with winning so many of these races so far this season. So I think didn't maybe get as many practice laps in tonight, but we'll see how he performs. Like you said, already up to second, started third. So be fascinating to see what kind of speed he has. Nate Stewart, we saw him just jump out right away that initial start there, and now he'll have Chin to his outside for this restart.
Speaking of going up against the best in this series here, that top 7 there is stacked. Nate Stewart, Josh Chin, William Schmidt, Kendall Carpenter, Jack Painter, Mo Perry. In those 6 cars can win it here as we're back under green. Nate Stewart hard on the gas down this long straightaway. Green flag is out. They flash by by Barney the Flagman and dive down off into turn number 1 with Nate Stewart in sole command of this lead as Kendall Carpenter dives down low. And Josh Chin looked like he had a little bit of trouble getting into turn 1 there, Ross.
Yeah, I thought, maybe kind of the same thing in the first start. That inside lane is kind of the place to be, maybe, and was able to go out there and grab the lead here for Stewart. And Chin was basically immediately stuck up on this outside here, all the way back, battling for 4th now, maybe even 5th. But it just seems like when you get up on that outside lane, it's really hard to get the car to turn. You want to be down on that white line right now, it seems. That was a great opportunity for Carpenter, Schmidt, and now here Painter looking to the inside of Chin to try to take that 4th spot.
And I think that's due to the fact that this is such a big track with such big, wide, sweeping turns, especially down in 1 and 2. If you're not down on that white line, then you're taking a longer way around the racetrack and just losing time. So I think as Josh Chin completes the pass here on the 31 of Mo Perry to solidly put himself in the 6th running position, if you're not on that painted white line, you're making the car run extra long, and it's just a longer way around the track, and not the fastest way around. So look for these guys to be down on that white line all night long here, as well as the fact that this track is a slick one right now. You're getting all the sun. It's a mid-afternoon race. 108 degrees is the track temp. This is a fast, slick racetrack, and you're going to see it here as these guys almost sideways down into turn number 1 here as we look at Mo Perry trying to defend from Harry Grindell in the 7th spot.
Perry off of 4 a couple laps ago, just got a little high and gave Grindell the opportunity to get underneath. Oh, we got a caution.
Caution flag is out. 1 car hard into the inside wall. That's Nathan Kiani running that pink number 17 car. I'm mistaken. That's Ruby Estes. I apologize for the miscall. Kiani usually runs that number. But hard single car incident, we believe. Let's go back and get a replay just to see what happened. Sorry, Ruby Estes scored in the 117, so the paint scheme there threw me for a loop. Down to the white line. It looks like that accordion effect right there in the middle of the corner, Ross, just gets run up on.
Yeah, it just seems those 3 cars kind of just all come together, and it's, I mean, you talked about it being kind of hot and slick here. That's definitely something these drivers are going to have to contend with. Just a little bump there, and almost had it saved. And I think the overcorrect was a chance there, and Ruby was able to keep it from going back up on the track and got a little damage. But what are you going to do? You're going to get back out there, hopefully picks up some of that damage and get back out there.
That was the 15 of Cole Freilich who got into the back of Ruby there. And Cole had actually pit on that first caution. So Cole had, quote, fresher tires and was trying to make his way back through the field after starting 9th. So patience wearing a little thin there for the driver of the 15 car.
Yeah, and ultimately, maybe coming down pit road there to get a reset a little bit of not necessarily a legit reset, but just trying to get that track position back, and maybe a little too aggressive there from Freilich. We know he's an aggressive driver, but yeah, we'll see if he can get back up towards the front of this race at some point tonight. I know this series, 100 laps here, I think you could split this race pretty much in half, especially if we continue to have cautions like this. If we get a green flag run, I think they're going to try to get past lap 50 to make sure that they can make it on just one stop. But then, at some point, maybe there is a chance to come get some tires on these cautions and use that to your advantage to maybe try to, gain some track position by grabbing tires when others don't, or vice versa by staying out when a lot of other drivers come down for tires. So a couple sets in the pits. So I think tires aren't going to be a huge factor unless we get some perfectly spaced out cautions here. So we'll see. But as of right now, I think just a lot of these drivers are just barely using what they have so far for the first set as far as rubber on these tires.
I think with 4 sets of tires in this race, I mean, you can go, 20 laps, come down, get fresh rubber. We're going to have to see the fall off that gets on these that these cars go through as we get further and further into a run. So to see if that would be a viable strategy to just come down and get fresh rubber. Because, like I said, this is a hot, slick racetrack. I expect there to be fall off, especially with how long the track is. You want to have all the grip you can get to get a good launch down the straightaways. So I'd be interested to see if guys come down in the next caution, if it's not too soon, to come experiment with fresh rubber, and the guys who already have come down to get fresh tires. Cole Freilich leading the charge on that, already back up to the 17th spot. Everybody will be looking at him to see how he handles charging back through the field against guys on 2-lap older tires. Will it be that much of a difference? We've got 90 laps to find out here at Motegi. Field is double filed back up once again. Oops, sorry, Ross, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think the other part of it is, I think if you have a little extra fuel, I know just 2 laps ain't much, but some of these drivers have just pitted on this last lap, you can maybe go a little farther if we do get going green here.
Pace car dives on a pit lane. Nate Stewart leads the field to green here. Kendall Carpenter got a great jump to the outside. They're going to drag race down into turn number 1, leaving the rest of the field behind. Door to door down into turn number 1. Carpenter pinching that outside door of Nate Stewart, and he's going to be there alongside up off the outside. We're going to have to see. Nope, gets loose up there and tucks back in line. There'll be 1, 2, 3 for the top spot, with Jack Painter and Josh Chin fighting side by side for 4th.
I think for Carpenter, you got to take that. We saw so many of these drivers on the outside lane those first 2 restarts just not really get going, and he did a great job of putting up a fight. Didn't get the lead, but at least able to keep second here and keep the momentum up. You look at this pack go by most of the time 2 and 3 wide mid-pack, trying to get it sorted out. See Mo Perry and Harry Gundel still battling side by side. They were this last run, so just right back to where we started on that previous run.
Oh, car in the wall hard there. That was the 03 of John Felber. And racing on the outside of Tristan Baker right now. Got in there really hot, washes up the track, and now he'll recover back to slip all the way back to the... Let's see where he cycles back out at after crossing the line. 18th spot. He lost a lot of momentum there. He slapped the outside wall off of turn number 2 last time by, and he lost all that momentum. Cars were going by, and then did the same thing practically coming out of turn number 2. So John Felber going backwards early on here at Motegi, and it seems like, Ross, everyone's single filed out for the most part.
Yeah, I think this is kind of, I kind of looking at it, it's almost like a Bristol but flat, where you want to be down on the bottom. When you get up on the outside, you almost could lose multiple positions. I saw Felber when he got the wall there and kind of got up out of the groove really quickly down the straightaway, jump back down to the inside, kind of almost blocking to make sure he can get back down there. I think that's where you want to be, side by side with Levi Wolf here down the backstretch. I think that inside lane just seems to be working. Marty Farrell right there too, running that bottom lane. Side by side off of 4 here.
A little bit of a diamond there from John Felber, trying to get that car pointed in the middle of the corner to get a straighter run off. I think that's an interesting line to run here with as wide as these. That's something you see at like New Hampshire or any of the other flat tracks like that. But this is a big track here at Motegi. I'll be interested to see if he makes some time with that particular line, because you lose so much speed in the middle of the corner. To me, I would think that you want to preserve all the speed that you can and run a smooth arc in one fell swoop. But John's got some work to do, so he'll be one to watch here going forward as we get farther into the event with 17 laps done here at Motegi.
There's Nathan Chiani down on the bottom with the 43 of Jacob Wilkerson on the outside. I feel like that outside lane, it's pretty inviting on the entry of the corner, but then it just seems like on the exit, it just getting, even though this track's so wide, I don't know if the grip up there just kind of sends the car up towards the wall, and it's really easy to have to check up to get it to turn and not be able to stay there. Wilkerson's going to try the inside here down this front stretch.
Yeah, probably going to be slipped up there in that corner, and it just opened up the inside for Wilkerson to come back through, and now they're going to be side by side once again. Here goes that 43 down on the bottom, making it work, painting that white line.
I think that's the way to do it. Just set them up on the straightaway, get to the inside, and use the rest of the corner. Let that other driver on your outside basically have to park it to be able to get the car to turn, and you can make the momentum. I'm looking at some of those guys way up in front. You see from Chiani's view here, I see sparks flying up there. Everybody really easy to get in the wall a little bit. Here comes Freilich to the inside. We even have Chiani cleared before turn one.
Jack Painter just got by the 93 of Josh Chin. That was for the fourth position there. Did it in turns number 1 and 2. Making a very easy pass. And now he'll set his sights on the 79 of William Schmidt, running that inverse number of each other. Two guys in the championship who you expect to see is big moment there for Painter off of turn number 4. Now watch how Josh Chin's going to close up on him with that slip up there off the corner. Painter lost about probably 5 car lengths down that front straightaway after that slip up. So it's very important to preserve all the momentum you can with how long these straightaways are.
It's interesting to see these drivers kind of now race the racetrack a little bit. Now you're gotten a couple laps on these tires, enough to start to feel a little difference since the start, and that's part of it. Even when you come off the corner, you might gas it up a little bit more and realize, wow, I don't have as much grip as I did earlier, and got to get your momentum back and not get stuck up on that outside or even just lose a bunch of positions. But Painter's done a good job here of staying up in the top 5. I think he's been kind of stuck up on that outside on those 2 restarts. So I think running 4th here was all the way up to 2nd at one point, but still staying up in this top 5.
While everybody's gone single file, let's take you through a bit of a change up here. New rules for this season in OSRL Premier Series competition. The No Bull 5 has been brought back. The old NASCAR gimmick from, I believe it was the early 2000s. Ross, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, even farther back than that. I think even late 90s, early 2000s, right? Somewhere in there.
I was not cognizant enough to remember it, but I know that it exists. Anyway, they're giving her a shot here in OSRL Premier Series competition. So the last time that we broadcasted a race of OSRL Premier Series, it was at Daytona. The top 5 finishers from Daytona were entered into the No Bull 5 for this race at Twin Ring Motegi. Those being Josh Chin, the winner, Jacob Wilkerson, Nate Stewart, William Schmidt, and Harry Grindell. Of those 5 drivers, if one of them wins the race tonight, they will win $25 just to keep. And then the top 5 drivers of tonight's race at the finish will be entered for the next Noble race, which I'm blanking at the at which track we're going to be broadcasting next. But it's easy to remember which races are the Noble races because they will be all live on split-second broadcasting.
Wilkesboro in a couple weeks. So you were just saying $25. Are you sure that's not in yen? We are in Japan tonight, so I don't know.
I would not put it past the admins of this league for it to be in yen. Honestly, it'd be kind of perfect depending on local exchange rates at time of checkered. But a fun spin on the season here as we look at the schedule going forward. The next race is at Mosport Canadian Tire. We will not be covering that. That will be broadcasted by our friends. I can't remember who. I think it's Pit Racing TV or something. Oh, it's not broadcast. I apologize. So Mosport will not be broadcasted, and then we'll be back for Wilkesboro, the following race, to bring you the next Noble race. So tune in then on split-second broadcasting to watch a short track brawl.
Think about a series like this. I think it's great to have something extra just to kind of battle for some bragging rights, a little extra bonus of some cash on the line. I think it's great because, this is a series that runs full season points, and, they do have a drop week, but it's basically, consistency is important. And if you're maybe down on your luck out of the points a little bit, you could still potentially compete for one of these Noble bonuses throughout the season.
A little bit of a moment there for the 12 of Emery. Spence running way up the wall. If we can go back and see what happened to that 12 car, because he was off the pace considerably and dropping spots fast. As we look back and get a replay here of the 12 car of Emery Spence going into, I believe it was turn number 3 and 4. Just straight up overcooks it. Ross way down in there. Manages to get it woed up. That was behind, I believe that's the 24 car of Marty Farrell. Good driving by Emery to avoid any contact. But a big moment there for the driver of the 12 car.
I think almost, making sure to turn somewhat to the right just to make sure to not hit Marty Farrell there, I think was probably part of that move, just because, like you said, maybe a little bit too much speed going in the corner and just didn't want to get in the back of the 24 and had to kind of arc the corner wide and lose some spots there. But mid-pack here, some battles here. We see Johnson and Harry Grindell battling here for 7th. Harry Grindell trying to get to the inside here off of 2. Isaac Johnson doing a good job of keeping that, but got a little loose.
Oh, we got loose, big contact there. They both check up. Can Isaac Johnson save it down the back straightaway? He will. We stay green. A huge moment there for the driver of the 33 car.
What a save. Was basically started getting loose off of 2. And then I think Grindell just being right on the bumper there just added to it. And but yeah, heck of a save. Kind of even like as he was saving it, I think Grindell kind of gave another maybe little tap there. I don't know if he was trying to help him straighten it out or but yeah, he was able to save it. And really Grindell also keeping it together and able to get back going. I don't think they lost too much time, either of them, maybe a couple positions.
Right in front of the 9 car of Spencer Ray too. If you're the driver of the 9 and you see that happening in front of you, you're thanking whoever you're praying to that this is a wide track and you've got plenty of room to get around it. 'Cause that was a huge moment there off of the corner.
Gained 2 spots for Jacob Wilkerson with that with those two getting into each other. Here's Joshua Chin still in 5th. Back behind to Mo Perry. Just this top 5 here, or top 6, kind of pulled away a couple seconds up on 7th Spencer Ray. Like we just said, we saw the moment that group had back there that probably added to this gap that this top 6 have. Right now, you're lap 32.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. Jacob Wilkerson has had a good season, and he's a very highly rated driver on iRacing. But I was watching his qualifying laps. Really boogered both of them. Got down into turn number 3. Too hot to make a real flying lap at it. So he started way deep in the field. I've been slowly watching him creep his way back through this field. And he has made his way up now to the 8th spot with that moment between Isaac Johnson and Harry Grindell. So Jacob A. Wilkerson on the charge here early on, as we are 1/3 of the way through this 100-lap race here at Twin Ring Motegi.
Yeah, 10 spots here in that 43 car since the start. I think these guys are going to pretty much, like I said, I think you're going to want to try to get to about lap 50. You can go maybe as far as 65 if you want to. I don't know if that means, with 65 laps you can go on a tank of fuel. The window would be opening here in the next lap or two to be able to make it hit and make it to the end. But I think they obviously want to go closer to midway here and use up their tires just to not have to run that full 65 laps on a set of tires if by chance they decided to pit early. But you never know. Maybe somebody wants to try something a little different. But I think running long is going to be the goal here. It's a bigger track, but some pretty quick lap time, so I think you will potentially go down a lap on pit road here. So a lot of these drivers are maybe wanting to stay out longer just to make sure that they don't go down a lap. Here's John Daniels up to, try to see where John's been running. Been 15th right now.
15th position is that 0-2 car of John Daniels as he makes his way around the track behind the 17 of Kiani. And yeah, you're right, Ross. Generally, I think on iRacing, the rule of thumb for most tracks and car combinations, there are the odd outliers, but for the most part, you want to run as long as possible and really preserve that tire advantage, at least for fixed setups anyway. I can't speak for open setup racing. Go as long as you can, preserve the tire advantage for as long as you can, because it really seems to get multiplied as the run goes on. It exponentially increases was the word I was looking for, as the run goes on. And you can find yourself getting blown by in the final 5-7 laps of a fuel run later on in the race because you pit 5 or 7 laps earlier than everybody.
And looking out here in the top 5, we have Joshua Chin getting some pressure here from Mo Perry. I think this about 2nd to 6th here. Some varying speeds from these guys, with some of them, just a couple tenths off right now. Maybe just used up a little bit of their stuff. Perry's going to get up to 5th here. This is we talked about it at the beginning of the show that the 3 out of the last 4 races for Joshua Chin. This is a track that he just seems to be a little bit off. Maybe a track that he doesn't have as much experience with, but struggling a little bit tonight here in 6th.
Well, it's very early on, and Josh has got we're in the first tire run. If Josh is anything like me, it takes a run or two to really dial in how hard you need to be driving the cars versus everybody else. So I have no doubt that he'll be back up in there for the fight for the checkered here as we get farther on into the event. But Mo Perry, running in 4th, is a OSRL Premier Series staple, but kind of gets left out of the conversation a little bit. Kind of overshadowed. Runs about 7th to 10th. He's having a great night up there in the 5th spot, taking it to the top dogs in this one as we look back at the 7 of Levi Wolf. Doing battle with Tristan Baker there for a couple of laps. But great night for Mo.
Yeah, for sure. And I think ultimately just a little bit faster than the 79 of William Schmidt here for Mo. I think he's going to be able to close in on Schmidt here in the next couple laps. Baker was able to get by Levi Wolf here and kind of put a little bit of a gap here on that 7 car in the 16th spot. I think a lot of these drivers that maybe handling's gone away a little bit for some of them that have been able to keep the momentum up, keep their tires on it. They're able to gain a couple spots here late in the run. You see that 7 move way up the track, which is still middle at this very wide, flat track.
Yeah, and I want to go back to something that I was talking about earlier, talking about the fall off on these tires. These guys' best laps of the top 5 running 36 7s and 36 8s. Right now, they're running 37 6s and 37 7s. That's less than a second of fall off over a 40-lap run. As big moment there for Mo Perry. He collects it and keeps on going. As now Isaac Johnson hits pit road. He will be the first one of the top contenders. He pits from the 11th spot. He will come down and get fresh rubber. And so we'll have to see if that drags everybody else or if everybody else can stay out and Isaac can make his way through this field on these new tires. But back to what I was saying, there's not a whole lot of fall off on these tires. This track, it's a high momentum track, it seems. So as long as you keep your foot down, you're going to be going fast. So somebody like Isaac Johnson, who's going to come down and get fresh tires, he's not going to be able to slice through the field like he was or like he would at a New Hampshire or a Darlington or somewhere where there's a large amount of fall off and these tires get shredded by the track surface. That's not going to be the case here. I'll be very interested to see how Isaac Johnson deals with unlapping himself, because it doesn't look like anybody else has elected to come down yet, Ross.
Yeah, I think that would be the only one. I thought maybe a chance some other cars would be, would drag themselves down to pit road, seeing Isaac Johnson come down, but not going to. We'll see if much you already look into the inside of Baker here, trying to just you got to navigate this traffic now with a little bit fresher tires and see where it nets you out in the end. I think we're another 6 laps here from halfway point. I think that's an easy spot for a lot of these drivers to consider it. But since we had a couple cautions to start this race, I think they'll go maybe a little bit farther. At Cole Freilich there up to 11th. We've talked about how long it maybe would take to move forward, just slowly working his way through this field. Just takes a lot of time at a track that everybody's kind of running the same spot.
Yeah, remember, speaking of Cole Freilich, he pit on that first caution on lap number 2 to come down and get fresh tires. And we talked about whether or not he would be able to slice his way through the field would the tires be that much of an advantage. It looks like they have not, as Freilich qualified 9th. He has only been able to work his way back up into the 11th position here as we look back at Isaac Johnson now, who's just a little bit behind these guys, but not too far. That tire advantage will be massive here. I expect him to run up on this pack of 3, including Freilich and Badimlik there rather quickly.
Looks like the 03 John Felber had a issue on that last lap. I just looked up and saw that he was stopped on the backstretch. This is where all the smoke is. He's got back rolling, but we see some smoke down the backstretch. I believe it is from the 03 John Felber. He hits pit road now, so I don't know if got loose, got some help or what, but we stay green. But yeah, tough break for Felber, who was really kind of doing okay, running mid pack here, kind of racing with the drivers around him.
Well, yeah, I just went back and looked at it. He got really loose off of turn number 2, and I guess spun down out of the racing groove. And because it was a solo instant, iRacing didn't throw the caution, but he sat still for a good 3 seconds or so. I mean, look at spinning, locks it down, corrects, still spinning, then has to lock it down. Contact to the inside wall, caution flags, never comes out, and he loops it and keeps on going. So tough break for the 03 of John Felber here as he starts to get back up on the racetrack after coming down and receiving service.
Just looking here at drivers, some of their lap times. Isaac Johnson hitting the 37.2 and our leader 37.7. So like you said, not a ton of lap time picked up on those fresh tires. Here,
and that's why I think like the best method is going to be just to preserve those tires, stay out as long as possible, because that you're going to have that advantage for longer in the run, and you're going to make up the difference, whatever that ends up being, to somebody who pits earlier over in the long run with how little the fall off is here. It's so interesting.
Mentioned before, Mo Perry is going to get to William Schmidt. He has, but just hasn't been able to make a pass here. He's going to try to get as close as possible through 1 and 2. Maybe pull along on the inside here on the backstretch. It's not close enough yet, but he's there. He's close.
He's right there. Nope, makes a move to the inside. Schmidt kind of bobbled up off of turn number 2. You saw how he reached the wall on his arc before Mo did, and it was just a smoother exit for that, and that's going to allow Mo Perry here to come up and take the 4th spot now. Ooh, wall contact there for Schmidt. Might have been a little close call racing there going on down the front straightaway, but Mo Perry solidifies himself in the top 4 now, and now sets his sights on the 97 of Jack Painter, 2 seconds up the road.
Meanwhile, we got another take around pit road. Nathan Chiani brings the 17 car down for 4 tires. He's running about 15th, 16th, somewhere in there. Oh, now we got these guys are going to maybe hit pit road
here. Yep, that's everybody except Nate Stewart, basically. Look at that. All the way back, Kendall Carpenter, all the way down to Harry Grindell. Everybody comes and gets fresh tires.
I was going to say,
trying to do
I think
something to get in front of Nate.
Yeah, and I think that Nate Stewart's built up a nice enough lead that he could kind of wait here and see when everybody else pits, and now he's going to come down this time as we watch these guys basically 2nd through 6th all came down together. And we'll see where it cycles out. I don't think they're going to get enough of only half a lap really to try to gain on Nate Stewart, and he had a nice enough lead that this will probably work out for him. But Spencer Ray is going to stay on track and lead this last lap here, and we'll see if a bunch more hit pit road on this next time by.
Yeah, Spencer Ray was running about the 8th spot when all of this. Well, around about the 9th spot, I'd say. 9th or 10th, when everybody else pitted. So he elects to stay out on the track, still going. Not pitting last time, not pitting this time. So Spencer Ray. Oh, wow. Ooh. Hard entrance there for Spencer Ray. I mean, that's how you do it. You got to preserve as much time as possible. But he brings that 9 car down to receive service, and that will cycle now Nolan Sanford, Nicholas Bedimlik, John Daniels, Levi Wolf now to the top of the board.
A couple of these drivers, just Brett Bennett was one that pitted on that 2nd caution back on lap 9, so maybe able to run a little bit farther if he wants. I think these drivers here just trying to maybe catch a caution at the right time, but ultimately just run a little bit farther, and I think that 52, Nolan Sanford, going to stay out there a little bit longer. I don't blame him. I like the idea. Just see, maybe if you get a caution, could set you up to have a little fresher tires than the leaders on the next run, or maybe they pit and you gain some track position too.
Speaking of the leaders, they're now making their way through turn 4. Coming back onto the front straightaway. Nate Stewart pit a lap after the slew of takers that we had from second on down to ninth, and he still preserved the lead. He's got about a 5-car length advantage over Kendall Carpenter, and I expect that to only grow here once again as we get through this the back half of this race. Nate Stewart putting on a clinic here tonight at Twin Ring Motegi.
And I know that had that couple second lead, and really Carpenter did a great job, and so did Jack Painter of using up their tires to try to get as close as they could to Stewart here with that one extra lap that he went on the older tires. But now having one lap fresher tires, like you said, I think he'll be able to maintain this lead. We'll see if Carpenter has anything on this next run. Maybe he learned something a little bit on his tires to do something here. But who it really hurt, I think, is William Schmidt. Really kind of fell back a little bit farther than he was compared to these other leaders, and falling back into the clutches of Isaac Johnson, Mo Perry. Isaac Johnson, we talked about him running a little bit longer. He's moved all the way up to kind of the middle of those leaders. So if once this cycles through, he maybe has gained some track position by coming in early, but it's just a matter of now being on much older tires than these drivers he's racing around.
That's exactly what's happening. He is caught in the middle of a gaggle here between William Schmidt, Mo Perry, Josh Chin, and now here comes the 43 of Jacob Wilkerson, who will take that spot from him. So those older tires, we talked about the fall off. It might not be significant, but it's still there. And Isaac Johnson is getting a first-class lesson in how that how tire fall off works, as he is slipping back very quickly here. Now falls outside of the top 10.
And ultimately needed a caution somewhere probably in the next little bit here to make this work. Otherwise, it's a gamble that maybe, ultimately, sets back your final running order. If this stays green, you maybe lose, fall back a little farther than you were going to be running, but maybe worth the gamble, something to try. But I mentioned Brett Bennett hit it on that lap 9, so can run a little bit farther, and continues to do so here with the lead. I think maybe in another lap or two, going to be closing in on needing to pit just because they'll be running out of gas. Yeah, it looks like he's coming down this time.
So Bennett takes the 06 down to pit lane. That will cycle the lead to Emery Spence now. And John Szulczewski are the only ones who haven't pit. They stay out on the racetrack. Just hoping and praying for a caution at this point. You have to be thinking, Ross, like some way to flip this field around on its head, because it's been a clean race and it's been a spread out race. Once these guys get going, it seems like it takes the entire run to catch back up to somebody and make a pass.
Yeah, and I think if a caution came out now and Spence, leading this pack right now, I think if obviously would have to pit, I would think some of our leaders would, consider it with Nate Stewart, Kendall Carpenter, so it would really work out right now if the caution came out for Emery Spence. There's Eric Grindell looking to the inside of Isaac Johnson, a little bit fresher tires, going to try to make this pass work.
Grindell now trying to look to the inside of Isaac Johnson. Isaac on those older tires, and you can see him right there. Slips up. Boy, those two have already had one big moment here, trying to make it 2 down the back straightaway here. They're side by side. Now Grindell will get the spot and easily clear off into turn number 3. Those boys are having a night.
Fighting all over the place. Gotta love it looks like it's fun to drive. Here Emery Spence brings that 12 car down to pit road. Get back out there.
Now Szulczewski assumes the race lead as being the only car that has not pit. And he will stay out for another circuit here. As now Nate Stewart's pretty much almost caught Szulczewski. He's less than 2 seconds back, so John's running out of time. For a caution to come out and start preserving some running position.
And looking here at Nate Stewart, really hasn't pulled away too much from Kendall Carpenter. Ultimately, the last lap ran about a 10th faster than Carpenter, but not getting away as much as I thought he would. Definitely maybe later in the run was where he was much faster the previous run. He's going to look to try to grab this lead here. But Jack Painter running a little bit faster than Carpenter. The last 2 laps just about a 10th faster. So our fourth place right now. Third once the 18 pits here, but looking pretty good. That's our battle for the lead there, and Stewart's going to grab it.
It's over almost as quick as it began. And Stewart will now assume the race lead, and we have to assume Cholcheski brings it to pit lane this time, and it looks like he will. So that will completely cycle the field back out as Nate Stewart once again assumes the race lead with 35 laps to go here in Motegi. And he has been a force to be reckoned with all night. I don't think he's relinquished the lead once except for pit stops, Ross.
Yeah, the other side to this now, just because, when you have pit stops, you have, some of these drivers running long, some of them, pitting a little bit earlier. You're going to have the potential for this pack to get spread out even more and lappers. So we see Adam Harrington here. He just went a lap down in between our first and second place drivers. You're going to catch up to a handful of others. Now I see, Cholcheski back out on just leaving pit road. He's going to have some fresher tires, maybe catch these leaders at some. So just going to have to navigate the different tires around you with some of these lappers because the pack is so spread out now. But so far, pretty easy to navigate right now around the 4 car, and Painter's going to move past and try to get back close to Carpenter. Just been running just a little bit faster every lap. This one maybe going to lose a little bit of ground just going around the lap car.
So now here's an interesting scene for you. Cholcheski came back out on the racetrack right in front of Josh Chin and Mo Perry, who are deadlocked in a battle here for this top, for the 5th spot. Josh Chin had just gotten around Mo when Cholcheski was coming back out on the racetrack, and then got in front of these guys and really checked them up, brought Mo right back to the back bumper of Josh Chin. Now they've both gotten around him, and it looks like Josh is going to check back out. So Mo Perry sliding backwards early on, but we really saw his surge later on in the run, so we'll have to see if he can mount something to take the fight back to that 93 car, who I talked about. I would not be surprised if we see some more speed out of that 93 car and he gets up there. And 8 seconds back from the lead's a large gap to make up, but it can be done.
When I think a caution comes out, he's obviously one we'd be watching to see what if he can mount a charge up into that top 5. I think Perry would seem like was a decent the first part of the run, but ultimately maybe better the second half of the run. So I wonder how he will do once we get close to the end of this race. If it stays green, Wilkerson just kind of looking on back behind the Cholcheski there. So I think that's another car that potentially could get up here and battle for a top 5 position by the end of this run with a little over 30 laps to go.
I'm going to tell you what, we've got an absolute brawl back here for the... I'm trying to figure out where these guys are at. The 15th spot there between Badimlik and Tristan Baker. This has been the closest knit group of the entire run here as we look at Emery Spence making a pass on the 32 of Noah Carmichael for the last car on the lead lap. But back here in the 15th spot, these guys have been fighting for that top 15. Nathan Kiani kind of leads this group of 4 here with the 99, the 51 of Tristan Baker, and now here comes the 02 of John Daniels to try and take that spot.
The 7 of Levi Wolf has got a little bit fresher tires too, so these drivers slowly kind of coming back together depending on when they got tires. You know, the drivers up in that top 5 all pitted on the same lap, so there's no difference in tires, where these guys back here all kind of had their own schedule and were a couple laps from each other, so maybe a little bit of differences on tires right here to really, like you said, kind of bring everybody together and bring some pretty close quarters. I think I think it's one of those things, you start racing somebody and then you think, okay, I'm going to pit a lap or 2 before them, or if they pit, I'm going to run a little bit longer and just hope that maybe I can get them later on the next run. And then you're fighting with that same person again. It just seems like that so often happens, and try to find a way around them with the tire strategy, and ultimately have to still battle it out on the track.
Yeah, when you get with these races like this that you don't have a whole lot of cautions and it's very long and drawn out, you stop racing the whole field, the field as a whole, and you really just have to focus on who are the 3 guys in front of me and who are the 3 guys behind me. Who can I see on my little relative black box? That's who you need to be concerning yourself with, because it's probably going to be who you're concerning yourself with throughout the rest of this race, based on how how the racing has gone thus far. It's really hard to work your way up through this field. We've only seen a handful of guys do it, that being Jacob Wilkerson. Badimlik's up from up 7 spots from his starting position in 20th up to 13th. Not a whole lot of movement throughout this field through 74 laps at Motegi.
And Badimlik will have probably an opportunity here to maybe even get close to a top 10. We'll have to check back in as we get late in this run. But you have Isaac Johnson, who's in 10th. We know that he ran, he was one of the first ones down, so he's going to be falling back here a little bit. But that 99 pitted kind of pretty late. We saw him pit pretty late, lap 57. So a little bit fresher tires here on the 52 of Nolan Sanford. Going to look to the inside maybe here down the backstretch. Nope, going to tuck back in line, but I think down in 1 and 2 here, going to have an opportunity to pass this 52. And Freilich is up here trying to battle into the top 10 around Isaac Johnson.
This fight for that 10th position, and Freilich's going to get it easily here with those newer tires. Isaac really just suffering on the early pit strategy, which can't blame him, can't fault him for it. In fact, I kind of applaud him for it, as he's going to try and pit again now, sliding that car through turn number 4 to get it wound up. So Isaac Johnson really throwing some curveballs out here. We'll see if this strategy pays off. Maybe try and get a late caution and cycle to the front.
Yeah, I think that's a product of the Hail Mary play to start. I love it. I'm all for trying something. Gives us something to see and look at, and ultimately, it doesn't work out. But got some. We talked about them tonight, but that's. I give him credit for trying something, and maybe right now this is just kind of the circumstances of, okay, I'm going to either crash trying to stay on these old tires. Maybe if I come get tires now, I can salvage something. But a couple laps ago, I was looking up at some of our front runners, and they've caught some lap traffic. John Felber was getting past going a second lap down, and Kendall Carpenter almost got in the back of Felber off of turn 4. So these guys going to have to navigate a few others. We got Emery Spence, Marty Farrell, Noah Carmichael, all not too far ahead of the 67, our leader, Nate Stewart. So see if they're able to navigate that traffic when the time comes. But slowly, a couple tenths faster than the 20 now is Nate Stewart. So doing a great job on the long run tonight, and able to about 1.4 second lead the last time by. So just continuing to try to grow that gap.
Nate Stewart absolutely putting on a clinic here at Motegi. Has only relinquished the lead once, and that was for pit stops. Every other time he has been leading this field, like walking the field like a dog on a leash. Really, as this lead grows to over a second and a half. But you mentioned it; those lap cars up there are going to provide an opportunity for Kendall Carpenter and Jack Painter, who are closer to battling each other than really you'd like to think, because you got both cars in shot right there. Painter's just an extra effort away from getting this second place spot. So we'll have to keep an eye on the old Wiley Jack back there in third, see if he can make something out of this.
Yeah, I think he was definitely great on the long run that last run. So right now, just kind of mirroring Carpenter's times, and who knows? You get to these lappers up here, and just you meet one just at a bad spot, and if you're running similar lap times, all it takes is just a little bobble or a little moment, and that time he was 0.2 faster. So definitely, you can tell the gap is closed up here in this last lap since we started watching him here. But it looks like Painter's maybe able to hold the bottom line a little bit better than Carpenter, especially on exit there. But try to reel in this 20 car.
Jack Painter stalking that number 20 car of Kendall Carpenter in the closing laps of this event. Just under 20 laps to go here at Motegi. Nate Stewart continues to run away with it. That gap increasing by the lap. The fight's going to be on here, though, in a couple laps for second. And then we might be able to say the same about fourth and fifth there. Old William Schmidt and Josh Chen, only a half second between the two of them. We might have something here, Ross, at the end of this race.
Well, something to think about too is we talked about the Noble bonus, and Stewart has basically got that with Schmidt being his closest competitor in fourth. But obviously, if whoever finishes in the top 5 tonight is eligible for the next one. So you see Mo Perry in sixth there, the first one out right now as far as being in the top 5. So this battle here would be very interesting to see where everybody cycles through in the end. And if they're thinking about, man, I want to be in that top 5 to have a chance at the bonus for Wilkesboro.
That is a great point, Ross. Something to definitely watch out for as we close in on lap number 100 here at Motegi. As Jack Painter is now looking to the inside of Kendall Carpenter. The fight is on for that second spot. Painter down low on the inside. Carpenter doesn't get a very good entry. He's going to have to pinch off the nose of that 97 car. And he's going to get a little bit better of a run here as they'll flash back down the back straightaway this time. Jack Painter right in his tire tracks going into turn number 3.
It just seems like that 20 can't keep the bottom and opens up the door here for Painter. Down on the inside, I think this is going to be the move. As you see Carpenter even sliding around off of 4. I think Painter's going to drive in here a little bit deeper and take this spot. Going to do it.
So move the 97 of Jack Painter up to the second spot. As Carpenter starts to slip back. Luckily, he's got 15 laps to go. William Schmidt is over 3 seconds back, so not much to worry about from the fourth place driver. So we might still be talking to Kendall Carpenter before the night's over. If he can stay inside that top 3 here. We look back at the 0-2 of John Daniels, who has now made his way up to the 14th spot after starting 21st.
Tires than Kiani in front of him, so going to maybe be a battle there. Here's Mo Perry trying to get to that elusive top 5 run that would give him a shot at the bonus in 2 weeks. Just I think a little bit faster, about 10th faster the last time by over Chin. It's just a matter of can he get there here in the last 15 laps. I think he's going to have a chance at it. And it's a matter of, can he get the pass done?
Yep,
Grab
getting
that
to him
fifth
for one
spot.
thing, Ross. Passing them's entirely different. You saw in that last corner there, you could see the difference in their lines through 3 and 4. Mo was right on that white line and painted a consistent line, holding it down there the entire time. And Chin was a little up off of it and allowed Mo to close a little bit. The gap's now down to 0.4. As look at the entry that he gets into turn number 3. Mo Perry on the move right now, going for that 5th spot.
Yeah, and this battle really, between Chin and Perry for this 5th spot. You can't also count out the potential for Schmidt here, William Schmidt, to fall back to the clutches of Mo Perry and Joshua Chin here. So this battle for 5th is not just a 2-man race, but maybe potentially a 3. And then Wilkerson isn't really that far back either. Just kind of navigating some lap traffic behind these guys, but I think has a outside chance if these guys get to racing here.
Yeah, all it takes is for Schmidt to fight just a little bit harder, and Wilkerson will be on these guys in a flash. Because the brawl's about to be on between Chin and Mo, as Mo dives it down in there once again, looking underneath, trying to sniff that nose up in there and upset the 93 car. He pulls on in there in the middle of the corner. A little bit of a wiggle though, so he's going to lose some time down the back. Great stuff here in the closing laps here at Motegi.
Doing a lot better job at 31 of Perry, entering the corner, able to drive in a little bit deeper, and then maybe about the same on exit, but just maybe able to hold the bottom lane a little bit better. That works really great for catching up, but maybe makes it a little tougher to pass. You want to be able to, going to look to the inside. I think Chin's going to give him the opportunity here. Nice of him to just know that maybe I don't think I could battle you for 10 laps, but ultimately a gift for Perry to be able to grab that 5th spot.
Oh, but here comes Chin now. He's got the run down the back straight away, but he's going to just back out of it and give it to Mo. He recognizes the better driver at this stage in the race. As we've reached 10 laps to go now as Nate Stewart crosses the line. Mo Perry claiming that final no bull spot here, but here comes Chin back on the inside. Got a little bit better of a run, and this time he's taking it now. They're going to be door to door as they head off into 1.
Yeah, Perry got a little loose off of 4, and I think Chin, like you said, maybe wanted to just follow in his tire tracks. Just not sure he had enough to stay with him, but he's going to fall back behind after going through 1 and 2. Really just didn't want to check up enough to stay behind Perry with that slide on the last time through the front stretch. And Wilkerson's there, just a handful of car lengths back there, but it's just that 18 car of Shulcheski right in between them. So we'll see if Wilkerson can get up here and try to grab 6th from Chin, or if Chin's able to keep rolling behind Perry in the 31.
Yeah, I imagine Chin's going to be looking to keep the pressure on that 31 of Mo Perry. He's got another good run on him down the back straightaway here, but they can't fight too hard. Wilkerson is there, and I mean, just looking at that entry there, Wilkerson, and he overcooked it. You can see him slide up the racetrack on the back of your screen there. He's going to lose some time there, but Chin also sideways off the exit of the corner. Mo Perry scampers away to safety, trying to put any distance that he can in between the 93 car, who's got 3 wins on the season. Mo Perry taking it to the championship leader right now.
Meanwhile, throughout the rest of our top 5, we saw Painter was able to get around Carpenter and really kind of pulled away. Carpenter's kind of one of the slower lap times as far as the last handful of laps in this top 5. I think ultimately just used up his stuff trying to get to Nate Stewart, try to do something there, and let's give Painter a 3-second lead over Carpenter, who has about a 2-second lead over Schmidt here. William Schmidt was able to get away from Mo Perry and Joshua Chin here, so we thought maybe there was a chance for Schmidt to fall back there and potentially lose a top 5 spot, but able to get away once Perry was battling with Chin. Perry able to grab 5th now, and I think there's going to be a chance here in these last 6 laps if Wilkerson has a chance to get to Chin. Maybe battle for 6th. Doesn't mean much for the bonus, but obviously another position as far as standings and points, always important to continue to stack those points.
Yeah, we're going to be glued to this battle for pretty much the remainder of the race here, as we've got 6 laps to go. Because Wilkerson's coming. It's just a matter of if he can catch him and pass the 93 of Joshua Chin before that checkered flag falls. 5 to go now as Nate Stewart flashes across the line once again.
Looks like to me Wilkerson is just could be just a little bit better, but not enough to gain. I mean, basically 2/100ths of a second faster that last time, so not enough to gain position to be able to make a move here. But oh so close yet oh so far as we look from the top of his car looking forward.
Baby steps, Ross. Baby steps.
Yeah,
Rome wasn't built in a day.
Keep working at it, and I just think he's going to run out of time here with 4 laps to go. Have a shot. We thought it was very impressive how all these drivers really 2nd through 7th during that first green flag run we had, all came down and pitted on lap 51 together. And because of it, basically all of them have kind of the same speed going right now. No discrepancies in tire fall off between them all because they all pitted. So looking up at our lead, Nate Stewart continues to lead, but Jack Painter's been slowly creeping in a little bit. I don't know if he's got enough time to get there, but been a couple tenths faster the last few laps, and ultimately I would say concede each other compared to earlier where maybe they were a little bit farther apart. So I think it was about a 3-second gap before. It's almost down to 2.5 now. So trying to make sure Stewart has to work for it here. Can't ride out these last couple laps and give up this lead.
2 laps to go now for Nate Stewart, who appears to be babying at home, which you can't really blame him. I mean, just been taking these boys to town tonight. Utter domination from the driver of that 67 car as he rolls up off of turn number 2. So it looks like he's going to secure himself the first winner of the No Bull 5 this season in OSRL Premier Series competition, win himself that $25. White flag is out for driver number 67. And, I mean, what more can you say, Ross, than BTA?
Basically the most consistent lap times tonight really didn't fall off at any point, just running pretty much the same line right down on the white line, and it's just been a night of perfection for that 67.
Off of turn number 4 for the final time, driver number 67, Nate Stewart, dominates in Motegi. He will win the Tochigi 250. Wilkerson down and around at the caution flag, trying to limp it across the line. I looked away for a second, Ross. What happened?
I'm not sure, but ultimately lost a couple spots there from he was back in 7th. I think Grindel and Spencer Ray gonna pass him before he gets to the start-finish line. So not sure if he tried something there to get close to Chin for that 6th spot, but we'll have to maybe take a look.
Everybody comes around to complete their final laps, and Nate Stewart will bring it down to the front straightaway to start his celebratory burnouts here on right at start finish. Congratulations to Nate Stewart. Dominating performance here tonight in the 5th race of the OSRL Premier Series season.
Gonna see if we can get a hold of Kendall Carpenter here. Kendall, you got a copy?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you got me.
Yep, I got you.
3rd place tonight, coming home in 3rd. Ultimately, on the end of that 2nd run there, kind of falling back a little bit, but bring it home 3rd in the end. What did you need to maybe keep up with Nate Stewart and Jack Painter towards the end there?
I just need to be a better driver, I think. They were both just faster than me. During the end there, I was kind of falling asleep, kind of lost my focus. And I was just trying to run through the motions, get to the end of the race there.
That run, everybody was running that first green flag run after we had the couple cautions. It seemed like basically 2nd through 7th, everybody pitted at the same time. Was that something that you knew was going to happen? Was that something kind of a surprise? Was there any communication? But it just seemed like everybody came down, pitted right at lap 51 together. Just what was that experience like? Did you know that was happening, or was that a little bit of a surprise?
I noticed that. I did not realize that. I mean, it made sense. It was a 100-lap race, and I think the fuel run was like 50 laps. So I called out first. Jack was right behind me, and he followed me, and then apparently everybody else followed us down pit road. So that's a little bit funny. I got a better stop, and I was actually surprised how close I got to Nate at the end of that pit cycle. When she cycled through, got a lot closer to him. And I was trying to chase him down, and I just burnt my stuff up.
Well, so it's about a couple races in now, 5 races into this new season. Not able to get to victory lane yet. Do you have your sights on any of the races coming up as far as an opportunity to get back to victory lane?
I'm trying to get to the 1.5 miles. I think that's going to be my strong suit. Where are we? I'm trying to figure out where we go next week. We go to Chicagoland. No, we don't. We go to Mossport next week. So I'm not a real course. I'm not too excited about that. So just trying to get through that. North Wilkesboro is a possibility. We'll see. And I'm just trying to get to Auto Club. I think that'll be more competitive there.
Sounds good. We'll be watching. We'll give you a chance here before we let you go, though, to shout out anybody you want or thank anyone that that got you here.
Oh man, I just want to thank you guys. It's been a while since I talked to you guys. It's been a long time since I've been in the top 3. So thank you for putting on the broadcast and the race, and thank you to Cole Freilich for making my paint scheme. Got me looking fresh out there. So shout out to him for doing that. He did that for me. No questions asked. So I appreciate that.
Awesome. Thanks for chatting with us, and congrats on the top 3 tonight.
Thank you guys. Have a good one.
And now with that, we'll bring in our 2nd place finisher on the evening, Jack Painter. It's Brittle and the boys up in the booth. Got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Man, you brought home 2nd here tonight. A long race, nice clean race. Did you think you had anything for Nate Stewart? If something happened, because he put the whooping on everybody. But did you? If we got a caution or something, do you think you had anything for him?
Nah, he was just better than all of us. He I was just talking with him in the waiting room. He just gapped us while the rest of us were all fighting amongst each other, and there was just nothing we could do. So good race overall. I had a lot of fun. Good battles with Chin and Schmidt and Kendall and all of them. I don't think anybody had anything for Nate. Even if we got a late restart, I don't think anybody had anything for him. He was just better.
A great run from both of you tonight. Ultimately, you come up short in the second position, but still a very positive run, very good run to be proud of. Take us through how you navigated this track. It seemed like it was a hot, slick racetrack that you, from what we saw in the booth, it seemed to be the best option to just pin it down there on the bottom line and wrap it and take the shortest way around the racetrack. Is that what you were doing? Were you trying to slide up, get the momentum off at all? Take us around this 1.5 mile oval.
Yeah, it's just you just gotta paint the white line. I was braking at about like the 100 going into turn 3, and then like a transition between the light and the dark going into turn 1, and then just try to get to the bottom as quick as you can and just paint it there. That's how I was able to get around like Kendall there on that last run, because I saw him kind of slipping up off the bottom in 3 and 4, and that would cost him a tenth or two. So you just gotta keep pinned there at the kind of put your left side's right on that white line and just pin it down there, and that's how I did that, and it worked out. I was able to keep it on the bottom the entire night. Others were struggling with that, and I think that made the difference.
Well, we appreciate you for giving us some insight into this exotic track out here in the land of the rising sun. Next week, though, we go to something completely different. In Canadian Tire. How are you feeling about that one?
Don't know, because I've not driven Motegi or Mosport much. I like the layout. I'm just not the best road racer. But we'll see. I'm not gonna place too high expectations on myself. But top 15 would be nice, I think. Keeping very modest expectations. It should be fun. Kiani, he's developing a setup for it. He's been pushing us really hard to get this into the schedule. So it should be a good one.
And before we let you go, Jack, do you have anybody to thank for your awesome run here tonight? Coming home in second spot.
Yeah. Kind of. First off, Mo Perry for painting my car. He does a great job, as always. Everybody at Painter Williams Racing, Tyler Williams, Isaac Johnson, Griffin Jones, Jamie Ritchie Price, all those guys there. Super awesome guys. Mo was part of it also. It was just, I love this track. I don't know what it is about this place that just clicks, but I always run well here. So it's fun to put a full race together for once in a blue moon and have a good run. So really happy to really good result here.
Well, you certainly did do that, coming home second in this. I mean, you weren't kidding. Three cautions, I think, on the night, and plenty of green flag racing. So congratulations, Jack, once again on an awesome run, coming home in the second spot. Thanks for talking to us, man. Go enjoy your evening.
Thank you. Y'all too.
And last but certainly not least, we'll bring in our winner on the evening, Nate Stewart, in dominating fashion. Nate, Sprill and the boys up in the booth. Got a copy?
How's it going?
Well, man, I don't know if anybody can be doing better than you tonight. I mean, you had these boys' number around this track. What was the difference? Do you even know what you were doing any differently? Could you see where you would pull on the second place driver, or were you just, gone?
I don't want to to my own horn or brag at all, but I'm very much a long run person, and my experience in the NASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing series has really helped with that and helping me get better in the long run. They were all pretty fast on the short run, and admittedly, I was just kind of trying to pace myself on both short runs. I mean, hell, I even babied it into pit road, trying to prevent a mistake and a speeding penalty and all of that. So they got close. Kendall got to like half a second back or whatever after stops, and then I think him and Jack both kind of ended up pushing at the start of that second run, while I just kind of bided my own time, and thankfully was just able to keep the tires on it, manage them, and was able to pull away.
You certainly did that, especially I noticed in the back half of those runs, you would really start to stretch your legs out. So yeah, really saving those tires for the back half. Do you think was it more important to save the rears and get that long run off the corners down these straightaways, or was it more about corner entry and really being able to plant that car down on the white line? Which one were you really shooting for?
It was a mixture of both. It kind of went hand in hand tonight with how this track is, because I don't know how much, I don't know how the racing was behind me or anything, but for me, my goal the entire race was just Harvick it and paint the white line all the way around the corner. And I feel like I did a really good job of that, because the tires on both ends are really important, keeping the right front on it to get the turn in, and then also keeping the right rear on to have the runoff was really important. And I just stayed true to my line basically the entire race. I didn't try to overcook it at all or anything. I just wanted to paint the white line like Harvick did, and thankfully it ended up working out.
It certainly did work out, coming home the winner on tonight's event. Yeah, we asked Jack Painter the same question, and he said the same thing: paint that white line as best you can. And you were the one who did it the best here after 100 laps at Motegi. Looking forward, next week we go to Mosport up in Canada. How are you feeling about some road racing here on week number 6?
Yeah, I really love road racing. I'm really looking forward to it. Chin has kind of had my number on the road courses in OSRL, him and Brandon Hawken both. But with Chin doing the Indy Pro qualifiers, he might not be able to get a whole lot of practice. So I might stand a better chance next week at Mosport. Mosport definitely isn't one of my favorite tracks, but I mean, Motegi also isn't one of my favorite tracks either. So hopefully that kind of becomes a thing next week and all that. And I can run pretty well. But yeah, really excited for next week, because I always love turning right in stock cars. It's been one of my favorite things since I started iRacing. And yeah, hopefully we can just keep building on the momentum and then have more momentum after Mosport going into the next No Bull 5 race at Wilkesboro.
Yeah, and that brings me to my next statement for you. You are the first winner of a No Bull 5 race here this season, claiming $25 here at Motegi, and qualify yourself for the next No Bull race at North Wilkesboro in 2 weeks' time. What do you have to say to that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy about it. Money's money. I'm never going to complain about getting more of it. But yeah, I mean, it was cool to qualify for the No Bull. I think the car looked really good. I think I have the best scheme in the field, bar none. And then I know it's white, purple, and pink, but I think the orange actually accented it really, really well. So it was cool to see the paint scheme look like that tonight. And yeah, Wilkesboro, I'm not really a short track guy, never really have been. But I think I got a good shot at winning the No Bull 5 again in 2 weeks' time. So I don't know. Maybe I'll get lucky, end up going on a hot run, go 3 in a row or something like that. But we'll just have to see. You never know with OSRL.
That is true. This series will always keep you on your toes as we head next week to Mosport, and then the week after that, we will be live here on Split Second Broadcasting for the next No Bull 5 race at North Wilkesboro. Before we let you go, Nate, do you have anybody to thank for your awesome run here tonight at the Motegi?
Yeah, I just want to thanks to all my sponsors, Simbrap Market. They make paint bases, number sets, camera packs, anything you can think of when it comes to graphic assets for iRacing. Make sure to go check them out. My scheme that I ran tonight was a custom-made one for the NASCAR Contender Series last year. And I had Cole Freilich ported over to this car, and I mean, I think it's an absolute beauty. And I mean, it's not for sale, unfortunately, but there's plenty of beautiful paint schemes and paint bases for sale on Simbrap Market. Highly recommend you check them out. Jim Beaver Esports, they're the team I represented in the Coke Series this year. Misadventure Life, make sure to use code NS10 at checkout. That's Jim Beaver's apparel brand. And NS10 gets you 10% off. It also helps me out a little bit. Dead Zone Racing, they're my setup team from the Coke Series and going to be a big part in getting me back into Coke next year through the qualifying series. Apex Action Photography, that's me. I do iRacing photos. Rexford Engineering. Thanks to Cole Freilich for porting over the scheme, like I said, and getting the Noble stuff on it. Thanks to you guys for broadcasting tonight. I really appreciate y'all. And thanks to Jack and everyone else that helps run this league. And thanks to everyone that came out and ran tonight.
Well, Nate, we appreciate you talking to us. Thank you so much for stopping by. Congratulations once again on a dominating win here at Motegi. Go enjoy your evening and go enjoy your win, my friend.
Yep, thank you.
And with that, that wraps up our interviews here. Ross, final closing thoughts from a very clean race here at Motegi.
Yeah, it was fun. It was really interesting to see the different strategy as far as that, mid-race pit stop. We knew we were going to have it somewhere in the middle, and then with those early cautions, we had a couple drivers that were able to go a little bit farther and ultimately just kind of spread everybody out and have some different agendas, but ultimately fun to see 100 laps basically. Maybe a little less with some of them under yellow of just trying to be perfect, and there wasn't a lot of that because it is really hard to hit that white line and keep it on the bottom the whole way through. But I guess the one that was perfect was Nate Stewart, and he did a great job of being consistent, hitting that line, and doing a great job. Like you just were chatting with him. Awesome job, both entry, exit, and nailing every corner to be able to grab this win and over Jack Painter.
It's really great too to just see a clean race play out in a league setting. You really get to experience the ebb and flow, and it's awesome to watch and see. So we had a fun time here showcasing this race here tonight. Let's go through the race results one more time before we get on out of here. Nate Stewart, your winner in dominating fashion. Started on pole, led up almost all the laps, finishes in that first starting spot. So congratulations to him. Jack Painter brings it home in the second spot. Kendall Carpenter third, William Schmidt fourth, Mo Perry rounding out your top five. Those five drivers qualify for the next No Bull race that will be live on Split Second Broadcasting at North Wilkesboro Speedway in 2 weeks' time. So be back for that one. Josh Chin just misses out on the top five after struggling late with some tire issues. Harry Grindell finishes in the 7th spot. Spencer Ray, a solid night in 8th. Jacob Wilkerson, a drive from the back of the field all the way up into the top 10, will come home in the 9th position. And Cole Freilich squeaks into the top 10 at the last second after an early pit stop mired him back in there and had to work his way up all night long. A good run from Cole.
And at 11th, looking at the 99 of Nicholas Badimlik, bringing home that 11th after starting 20th. So nice job moving up to the mid-pack of the field. We saw him kind of run a little bit longer than a few of the others and had some fresh tires at the end. 52, Nolan Sanford comes home 12th. Nathan Kiani, 13th. Levi Wolf in the 7 comes home 14th. John Daniels in 15th. Brett Bennett, another one of those drivers that ran a little bit longer, comes home in 16th. Tristan Baker in the 51, 17th. Emery Spence is our last driver on the lead lap in 18th. Noah Carmichael, 1 lap down in that 32 car in 19th. And Marty Farrell rounds out our top 20.
John Szulczewski comes home in the 21st spot. Isaac Johnson, 22nd. We saw big moves from him all night long. Unfortunately, didn't quite work out. He brings it home 1 lap down in 22nd. Adam Harrington comes home in the 23rd position. John Felber, 24th. Cade McKee, 25th. Michael Deitch, 26th. Luke Breitschoff, 27th. And rounding out your leaderboard, Ruby Estes brings it home in the 28th and final position. That'll just about wrap it up here for all of us at Split Second Broadcasting. I've been Hunter Riddle alongside Ross Brockman, Jeff Johnson in the booth behind the sticks. Thank you so much for tuning in for the Tochigi 250 here at Motegi. Round number 5 of the OSRL Premier Series. We will be back in 2 weeks' time to showcase North Wilkesboro, race number 7. Thank you and good night.
This isn't a robbery. Hands in the sky if you got a drink. Learn nothing was blocking me. I was the problem, the only one stopping me. I didn't like it, I had to refocus. Now I'm devoted, I know where I'm going. Controlling emotions, I'm owning the moment. In order to get it, see, you gotta want it. Flow make a living break. Confessions over these 808s. Don't sleep on the key, better stay away. I mean, for heaven's sake, I'ma be the best. Came from the endless lane, walk games, bitch you with the chest. Beating on my chest, trying to get my rest. Watch me while I flex. Every win is a blessing, and every L is a lesson. So when I run into rejection, I know it's only redirection. I see the blessings right beside me. The chances of quitting are likely. I do it like I'm in my Nikes. Don't make excuses, they never excite me. Quitting was never an option.